what's going on here? You had to send out a little bit of a smoke signal here the other day.
Little bit.
Yeah.
So I guess the short and sweet of it is that we ran into some pretty severe logistics, and it delayed the timeline dramatically on our last essentially production batch. So the biggest thing that we want to do is always be 100% transparent with, all of our customers, those that have pre-ordered, followers. We know that there's been a ton of anticipation behind these catback kits. So the last thing we want people to think is that we're disappearing off the map. That is not the case. There was just a lot out of our control, things that, that's it. They were out of our control, things that we really couldn't change. And to mitigate that, we've already kind of fast-tracked new production on all these kits. So we are going to get them built as quickly as humanly possible to get these things out.
So, just to maybe add like a little more context to all this, when was the expected, I guess, they're on the shelf, we're ready to move these things. What was that date? And then we move forward to, I guess, just, was it this week or last week? I guess it'll all depend on when everybody listens to this too. But somewhere in the beginning of June is when you were like, holy shit, we got a problem here.
Yeah. I'm embarrassed to say it, but the original date was mid-April.
Oh, Christ.
And, I just want to say that we are so incredibly fortunate that our customers and the people in this community, I don't think compassionate and understanding really it doesn't justify how great these people are, because we reached out to every single pre-order customer, and they're just fantastic people, and they're willing to wait, and they understand that startups are hard, new brands are hard. A lot of times there are these challenges that are out of your control. It was really kind of pretty incredible, to be quite honest with you.
That's awesome, buddy. Yeah, it is. Yeah, I know we go on and on all the time, right, about how incredible this community is. But I guess going through something like this, and I can only imagine like the anxiety, like your guts would be in knots. And you're like, right, let's start dialing and hoping that, you know what I mean, they're not hollering on the other end of the line, and I'm doing damage control. But I mean, I think that's human nature to think that that's the way it's going to go. Like, you're expecting the worst.
And to be quite frank, even if they did, they have every right to.
Well, yeah.
I'll be honest. I mean, I wouldn't blame anybody if they were upset, but we're so very lucky that we got the best customers out there. Like, the people in this community are absolutely fantastic.
Yeah. Well, dude, okay, let's maybe broaden this out a little bit, because I think trying to understand, I guess what I'm trying to say is, like, the fact that the team, the whatever, like, you guys are doing something with, well, like we said earlier, these silly old cars that we're all aware of the fact that, like, sure, the community's fairly broad, but, on the grand scheme of the world, like, we're a drop in the bucket, like, hell, a lot of people can't even remember what these cars were or are or any of that stuff, right? So for you guys to go like, hey, I think we could probably still take a crack at this whole exhaust market, which is one of the main reasons that most people fell in love with these cars in the first place, is because of how awesome they sound, right? And then you got to think too, like, you had the deck stacked against you, because you got all the big boys, right, that have already been doing this for the last, well, however many years they've been around, but they've been selling kits for these cars for the last 40 plus years.
Mm-hmm.
And then whatever, this harebrained idea, let's make a catback kit for the one car that is already, they've pretty much all been swapped, right?
Yep.
Like, it's pretty wild when you think of it. I mean, hell, the other day I did a little funny walk around video of the car I got on the 2-post right now, because the whole kit, like that thing was stock from the exhaust gaskets back. Check it out, ladies and gents, they still do exist. OEM H-pipes, headers, gaskets. This OE H-pipe is in absolutely wicked shape too. The flanges dumped their guts when I busted them apart, but if that's not impressive enough, get a load of this. You don't see these bad boys every day. Now, tailpipe wise, I'd say, I don't know, they probably could be cleaned up and made to look good with a handful of steel wool and some elbow grease, but pretty wild to think that they still do exist. Well, maybe not anymore. Maybe this is the last one and I'm ruining it for everybody. But anyway, stay tuned for the YouTube video.
Saw that. Incredible.
Yeah. And I'm going like, holy shit. Other than bubble wrapped cars, like there can't be many of these left.
No.
You know? So anyway, to that point, if I'm that impressed by a full stock car that's never had an exhaust kit on it, and then here come you guys going like, yeah, I think there's room. I think we can do this. But then you've got the pre-orders. Like, anyway, I don't even know where the question is and all that, my friend, but it's the fact that you guys are doing this is impressive by itself, let alone on cars that, for all intents and purposes, any banker that you wanted to get a loan from to do this would probably be like, if they knew anything about Fox buys, they'd be like, worst car to do that for ever. They've all been swapped. What are you thinking?
I'm not really sure how to take that. Gary, you're pretty much telling me, like, Greg, I don't know about your business model here. I don't know. No, I'm busting your chops.
I know. No, but yeah, like it's one of those things. I mean, I've told you this many, many times. When we did that joint pod with the 50 Asylum boys, like I'm a huge fan. And I love the fact that you guys are doing this. It's like the nuts that it takes to start any kind of business, let alone the one that you're doing, is very, very impressive, right? Like not everybody does this. And the fact that the community's responded the way that they have, very impressive, very grateful, you know, whatever. But it's just, I don't know. I think even though the response has been kind and everything, I think that like we all need to take a little bit of a moment and go like, would I have the balls to do this? Like, honestly, you know, I think it's the most obvious question in all this. And if guys like you don't have the balls to do this, well, guess what? Back to Flowmaster you go. Yep. Or, you know, back to mass production bullshit you go. Like, we've all had run-ins with it. We all know how terrible it can be. It's gotten way worse over the years. So if we're not supporting the little guys, well, guess what, guys? Back to whatever, not to shit on one brand, but like Daniel Carpenter, you know, like everyone has issues with the run channel, everyone, whatever, you know. Hell, I was putting a set of BBK shorties on this coupe, and the first thing that I did was make sure that the flange that goes down to the H-pipe was threaded, because I've bolted headers on those small block Fords before, and the flange wasn't threaded. And that's a real pain in the ass to thread once you got it all bolted up in the car.
Yeah.
Like, you know, so if we're not supporting guys like you, who the hell are we supporting? All these mass producers?